Boom. There we go. Feels like another nice fish. Man, I love the tug of a crappie. Oh yeah. That's another slab, folks. That's another 11.5-inch slab. Look at this fish. Look at this mouth. Look. Let's put him on a bump board. That fish is almost 12 inches. I'm gonna let him go. Look at this, folks. Look at this. Tiny hook, tiny worm, tiny jig head, tiny gap, micro clip. Everything here is tiny. 3-pound fluorocarbon line, black head, black worm. I mean, this is the most natural and invisible rig that I can make. I can go 2-pound fluorocarbon here, but if it's fluorocarbon, I don't think it's necessary. So let's try to catch a few fish, and I'm gonna tell you something that I think will be very useful to people without boats, because I still see some very experienced crappie anglers on YouTube say things. Oh, here we go. My nasty weather today. 35-degree air temp. Whoa, this is running. Bluegill. 35-degree air temp, folks, with 15 miles per hour wind. You cannot tell with my muffed microphone and the wind. I dropped an anchor, the wind is in my back. That's not a bad bluegill, man. He ran like a tarpon. Whoa. But it's nasty today, okay? It's cold, windy. Water temp is 47 degrees, which is actually, in my opinion, the perfect fall water temperature. But that's not what I wanted to tell you today. I still see some very experienced crappie anglers on YouTube say things that now with technology we know are not true. Like, crappie is not line shy, they don't care about this, they don't care about that. There was one older gentleman who fished trees, and when they don't bite, he would hit the tree to wake them up. Don't do that, folks. That's not gonna help you catch fish. But the point of this episode of my series, what I learned from LiveScope, because we no longer have to speculate about this, okay? Everybody with LiveScope can confirm this. But I'm gonna tell you today that all fish in general, and crappie in particular, oh, that is a nice crappie, folks. Man, I always get interrupted in the middle of my statement. All fish in general, and crappie in particular, can see a lot more than people think. Whatever you think they can see, they can actually see a lot more. Okay, so when you say, people say they're not line shy, that's not true. They are very line shy. They don't see your hook, they don't see your jig head, they see everything. The only thing is, sometimes they see it and they bite it anyway because they're really hungry. This is 12.5-inch fish, almost 13. Look at this fish. Sometimes they see it and they bite it anyway. I'm gonna harvest this fish. I apologize, but who knows? Who knows if I'll catch, if I'll have good fishing. Perch fishing is starting. Who knows if I'll even come fishing for crappie again. Oh man, you still did not get my point. My point is, crappie can see everything, folks. They can see everything. They are line shy, they are hook shy, they are lure shy, they are swivel shy, clip shy. They are very shy. Sometimes they see these things and they bite anyway. Like if they're grouped in a school, they become competitive for food. Okay, you see a minnow, it doesn't look right. Okay, but there are so many fish around you that you don't have time to decide. If you don't eat this lure right away, somebody else might eat it. And the way to confirm is actually everybody with LiveScope will confirm this for you if you ask them. So many times, folks, especially with the float where it's kind of stationary, the worm or the hook, whatever the target doesn't move. You will see fish from 5 feet away just dash to your hook, just shoot over there, and then it will stop just 6 inches away from your lure or 3 inches away from your lure and just sit and stare at it. 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds, and it turns away. Well, what happened? It saw my lure from all the way over there. What do you think the water clarity is like this? I mean, you cannot see much, but still in this water clarity, they can see from 7, 8 feet. I don't know how. I think even though the water clarity we cannot see, they see kind of a background of gray, and then they see one dot that's a little bit darker. But for them, that's kind of enough because that's how they feed. That's kind of enough to detect. Anyway, I'm going on a limb there. I'm speculating what they can see and what they cannot see, but I see even in dingy water, fish run to my lure from pretty far away, and then they stop and they turn around. Okay, the moment I bought my LiveScope, I started seeing this, folks, and I started going thinner line, I started going smaller lures, I started going more and more natural, I started going smaller hooks. Another thing that they see, you think they don't, but they see, is you put the lure on the hook, but the barb and the part of the hook after the bend of the hook is sticking out. They can see that too. They don't always care. They don't understand what there is. They don't understand that it's dangerous, but they can see it. Okay. Very often people think there is no fish when, as a matter of fact, a fish ran to your lure, inspected it, and turned away. Even with my super finesse tackle, I see this happen. Okay, I think I've dialed it better than, I don't want to say anybody, but I mean, I have dialed the art of float fishing for crappie really, really, really well. And I mean, it's rare for me to see fish and cannot get them to bite. Here we go. Feels like another crappie at least. But you see the jigs that I review. I mean, they have like size 12 hooks. These hooks, crappie has big mouth, and I'm catching today 10, 11, 12-inch crappie. Look at the mouth of this crappie. This is not the 12-incher that I got before, but look at this mouth. Look. Why am I using this tiny hook and this tiny lure? Look at this. Because I don't want a huge hook with the wire sticking out. That's 11-inch fish. I will release. I got one 12-incher. Maybe I'll keep 2 or 3 12-inchers today. But that's the point of my video. It doesn't mean that if you use high-vis color, that's wrong. I just want you to be aware that the fish can see it. You saw in a video a couple of weeks ago when I was testing this Gosen Lumina Shine line, which is an incredible line. Super bright color, the brightest color that my eyes have seen. I mean, I tied a lure directly and I was catching crappie just fine. It was not the same like with the clear line though. Even there, I could tell the difference, but I was catching crappie just fine. But people do that, they catch crappie, and then they start to think that crappie doesn't care, or crappie doesn't see. When the fact is, crappie can see and crappie cares, but sometimes crappie has no choice. Crappie is in a big school, has no time to really think about it, and they compete for food. So sometimes they see it, that's not their first choice, their preference, but I mean, they just take a chance and they eat it and they immediately regret it. But fish definitely can see. I mean, sometimes I wonder why they turned away, because I don't think they can see my probably they can see the fluorocarbon line too. Because I mean, sometimes even my supernatural rig, they can still see it, folks. I see them come, check it out, and turn around. And I'm like, okay, what didn't you like? I don't know what else to improve on this rig. If you're not getting bites and you don't have the luxury of LiveScope or electronics like this, man, use the thinnest, clearest line you have. Use the smallest hook you have. Put the lure properly on the hook so you don't have too much wire sticking out. Use thin wire hooks. Even hooks, I don't like, if you fish shallow in clear water, I don't like red color hooks. Even the hooks, I prefer black color hooks. It's probably the single most important thing, in my opinion, people can do to improve their success. Because people, I see them on YouTube, they catch fish and they think everything is good because they're catching fish. But they are using almost like to a Japanese ultralight angler. What they are using is like a catfish equipment. Okay, these big rods, big lines, these 1/8 jig heads, these huge hooks, huge lures. I mean, everything is huge. Thick line, high vis line, so they can see it. They say high vis line makes a difference. All right, makes a difference, but tie a leader. And sometimes they just fish they're fortunate to fish in waters that are full of fish, and they can catch fish anyway, and they get this false confirmation of these bad habits that they work, and they keep fishing like this when, as a matter of fact, going more finesse can make sometimes just dramatic difference in success. Another bite. Are we biting? What's going on now? Biting, but it's here. It's a good fish too. Yeah, I believe that the high vis colors are not even necessary, except in the dingiest, dirtiest water, like in the spring after these powerful rains. Sometimes there is really zero visibility, so in those cases you might need high vis colors. But when I kind of recognized this fact in my head that the fish can just see everything, I mean, even in what appears to be dingy water, they can see natural color lure from 5 feet and they come to check it out. I stopped buying high vis colors. Now, I still buy chartreuse. Chartreuse for some reason is, I don't know, it's a good color. I wouldn't use it today when the water is so clear and cold, but chartreuse is a good color. But you know what is high vis? Black. Black is so easy to see on any background. Black is high vis color, and on top of that, black is a natural color. So all of these orange colors and purples and all of those, I abandoned them. I don't buy anything anymore. I think fish can see in stained water just fine. I don't know how they do it. Again, I think they detect small, they cannot see the lure, the color, stuff like that, but they can detect small differences in the shade of gray on the background, and they go to inspect it. And then it's important to have natural presentation. So I stopped buying funny colors. Black is probably the best color, probably better than white. White is also number 2 in my opinion, but black is number 1. And then you can have a little chartreuse for, for very stained water. But you don't need all of those funny colors. I still have a lot of, colors of trout magnet because we are anglers and we enjoy, we enjoy just looking at tackle. But in reality, I think most people buy too much high-vis stuff, at least for crappie. I don't know the other species, but at least for crappie, people buy too much high-vis stuff. Natural is just better. So, like I said, I'm not saying fish natural or fish with clear line, but I'm saying that the fish can see it. So it's up to you. I mean, if you cannot tie a knot and you need the high-vis line, yeah, you'll still catch fish with the high-vis line just fine. Don't worry about it too much. But don't have, there's not illusions, but delusions that the fish cannot see it. The other thing is I even use super small floats, tiny floats, just so when I cast, I don't spook the fish with the sound of a falling 1 pound bobber. Some of these bobbers, especially the weighted ones, when they fall, man, they displace water, and they're just like bombs, man. You guys, if you have those big bobbers, sometimes you have no choice. You don't have anything nicer than in the tackle bag. When you cast, try to cast a little bit farther and then stop it in the air. This way it drops in the water more silently. Because some of these bobbers, poof. This will be the last fish. Head shakes. Should be a crappie. Yep. That's my information for you folks. You do with it what you want. That's another nice crappie. Okay, this one was just 10 inch, but come on, man. I fished on this lake in the south for 2 weeks. I never caught a single 10 inch. Healthy fish, no parasites, no scars, no anything. Good health. If they don't catch him in ice fishing, he'll be 11 inch in the spring and 12 in the summer. Thanks for watching this one. See you soon. Bye bye.